Moving to the cloud offers clear technological benefits, like the ability to scale resources on demand. But before any engineering work begins, executives require strict financial justification to approve the transition. The first step in building this justification is calculating your current total cost of ownership, or TCO. Organizations usually start with the obvious, visible expenses, the acquisition of physical hardware and capital expenditures. But a true baseline requires capturing the ongoing ownership costs that are harder to see. This includes the salaries of technical and administrative staff, software upgrades, utility bills for power and cooling, and the maintenance of physical security measures. To see how these costs behave over time, we plot them out. This is a cash flow chart tracking expenses over a 10-year period. The red dotted line across the top represents the status quo. It shows exactly what the organization will spend on hardware, staff, and facilities if they stay on premises and change nothing. Capturing every facility and administrative expense to establish this baseline is mandatory. If you omit those hidden expenses, your on-premises costs look artificially low, and any future comparison to cloud pricing will be inherently flawed. Once migration begins, the financial structure shifts immediately. The organization stops purchasing physical servers, leading to a steady decline in capital expenditures and on-premises operating costs from year 0 to year 3. As those legacy costs shrink, a new expense appears. The organization begins paying subscription-based operational expenditures for the new cloud platform, shown here in dark blue. Here is the critical friction point in the transition. Notice exactly what happens in the first 3 years. The total outlay peaks, pushing our cash flow well above the red dotted baseline of our original status quo. This upward spike is known as the migration bubble. It happens because you are simultaneously paying to keep legacy on-premises systems running, purchasing new cloud infrastructure, and funding the dedicated labor required to move the data between them. Forecasting this temporary spike upfront sets accurate expectations. If stakeholders aren't warned that costs will go up before they go down, they are likely to panic and abandon the project midway through. So, what happens from year 4 onward, once the migration labor is finished and the legacy hardware is completely retired? The cloud allows for a specific operational approach called a match strategy. Instead of over-purchasing server capacity in advance to handle theoretical peak loads, you add or remove IT resources in very small increments, exactly as demand fluctuates. Because you are strictly paying for the capacity you use, the new steady-state cloud costs level out. As the timeline continues, the total expense drops and stays significantly below the old on-premises baseline. This permanent gap between the red dotted line of our old baseline and the steady blue area of our new cloud expenses represents the long-term return on investment. The compounding savings captured by this transformation value mathematically justify the temporary financial strain of the initial migration bubble. Organizations don't have to guess these figures from scratch. Major cloud providers offer standardized tools, like the AWS, GCP, and Azure pricing calculators, to build precise financial models for your specific environment. To build a valid model, follow 3 rules. First, account for true TCO, including facility and maintenance costs. Second, forecast the migration bubble's temporary dual running expenses. Third, use a match strategy, tuning capacity to real-time demand. A successful transition to the cloud requires an accurate financial architecture to support the technical one.